Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss some medical as well as some dental conditions. First, we will begin with hypertension. It is a medical condition. We know that the hypertension has been the most important contributing factor to cardiovascular diseases. And sustained hypertension damages heart, kidney, blood vessels, and brain, which leads to ischemic heart diseases, then congestive cardiac failure, renal failure, and stroke. Therefore, it is one of the most serious concern of modern medical practice. Okay, we know that the normal blood pressure means when diastolic pressure is between 80 to 84 millimeter of mercury, while systolic blood pressure is between 120 to 129 millimeter of mercury. There are four stages of hypertension. Prehypertensive stage, mild hypertension, that is grade 1 hypertension, moderate hypertension, that is grade 2 hypertension, severe hypertension, that is grade 3 hypertension. Okay, first we will see what is prehypertensive stage. Okay, prehypertension means when diastolic blood pressure is between 85 to 89 millimeter of mercury, while systolic blood pressure is between 130 to 139 millimeter of mercury. And this prehypertensive stage can be controlled by diet with avoid salt in food items or using small quantity of salt in daily food items. Right? So these are the stages of hypertension: mild hypertension, moderate hypertension, and severe hypertension. We will see the treatment for mild hypertension, moderate hypertension, and severe hypertension. Here we can see the prescription for mild hypertension. Mild hypertension means when diastolic pressure is between 90 to 99 millimeter of mercury, while systolic blood pressure is between 140 to 159 millimeter of mercury. Already you have learned antihypertensive drug. There are different classes of antihypertensive drug. For mild hypertension, we will use single antihypertensive drug. Okay, mild hypertension can be controlled by single antihypertensive drug. Here we use tablet hydrochlorothiazide 12.5 milligram once daily in the morning for 7 days and instruct the patient to come after 7 days for checkup. Okay, if patient is not tolerated to hydrochlorothiazide, then we can use other alternative drug like telmisartan, atenolol, amlodipine. These are the alternative drug for hydrochlorothiazide. So here we can also use telmisartan 40 milligram once daily for 15 days. It is an angiotensin receptor blocker. Then other alternative drug like tablet atenolol 50 milligram once daily for 15 days. It is a cardioselective beta blocker. Then we can also use amlodipine. Amlodipine, it is a calcium channel blocker. Amlodipine 5 milligram once daily for 15 days. Okay. Hydrochlorothiazide, it is a thiazide group of diuretic and it inhibits sodium chloride import in early distal tubule. Okay, this will increase sodium and chloride excretion. Therefore, there is net loss of sodium and chloride ion in urine. Okay, then this thiazide group of diuretic can cause hypokalemia, hypercalcemia, hyperlipidemia, hyperuricemia, skin rashes, photosensitivity. Then they may cause impotence. Hence, thiazides are not the preferred antihypertensive in young males. So these are the adverse effect of thiazide group of diuretic. So for mild hypertension, we use tablet hydrochlorothiazide 12.5 milligram once daily in the morning for 7 days and follow up after 7 days. Now we will see the prescription for moderate hypertension. Moderate hypertension. This is a prescription for moderate hypertension. Okay, moderate hypertension, that is a grade 2 hypertension. Moderate hypertension means when diastolic blood pressure is between 100 to 109 millimeter of mercury and systolic blood pressure is between 160 to 179 millimeter of mercury. Okay, this moderate hypertension is treated with hydrochlorothiazide along with atenolol. Okay, here for moderate hypertension we use tablet hydrochlorothiazide 25 milligram once daily for 7 days with tablet atenolol 25 milligram once daily for 7 days. Okay, and instruct the patient to come after 7 days for checkup. Atenolol, it is a cardioselective beta blocker and it acts on beta receptors on heart. It will decrease heart rate, force of contraction, decrease conduction velocity and decrease cardiac output. Okay. Suddenly withdrawal of cardioselective beta blocker can cause rebound hypertension. Okay. This rebound hypertension is the major adverse effect of beta blocker. Okay. So a patient should take advice from doctor while withdrawing any antihypertensive drug. Okay. We can use other alternative drug for moderate hypertension like tablet enalapril 5 mg along with tablet amlodipine 5 mg for 7 days. Okay, enalapril, it is a angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor and amlodipine is a calcium channel blocker. Then we will discuss treatment for severe hypertension. This is a prescription for severe hypertension. Severe hypertension, that is a grade 3 hypertension which exists when diastolic blood pressure is 110 millimeter of mercury or more and systolic blood pressure is 180 millimeter of mercury or more. Okay. For severe hypertension, we use hydrochlorothiazide 25 milligram daily in the morning for 7 days, tablet triamterene 50 milligram once daily for 7 days, tablet atenolol 25 milligram once daily for 7 days, tablet amlodipine 5 milligram once daily for 7 days, and instruct the patient to come after 7 days for checkup. Okay, hydrochlorothiazide, it is a thiazide group of diuretic which increase sodium excretion. Then triamterene, it is a directly acting potassium sparing diuretic. It directly blocks the sodium channels in the luminal membrane of collecting duct. This will increase sodium excretion and reduce potassium excretion. Potassium sparing diuretics are used with thiazide or loop diuretic for the treatment of hypertension because they correct hypokalemia which is caused by thiazide or loop diuretic, right? Thiazide group of diuretic with potassium sparing diuretic. This combination therapy increases the diuretic and antihypertensive effect of thiazide group of diuretic. Then amlodipine. Amlodipine, it is a calcium channel blocker. It is a longer acting dihydropyridine. Amlodipine causes coronary vasodilation and reduce peripheral vascular resistance, that is afterload. That's why it is used in treatment of hypertension. Ankle edema is the major adverse effect of amlodipine. It has longer plasma T-half, that is 35 to 48 hours. Here we can see the prescription for congestive cardiac failure. For CHF, we use AC inhibitors and diuretics. Congestive cardiac failure, it is a medical condition in which the heart is unable to pump sufficient amount of blood to meet the metabolic demand of the body. Okay, it is a edematous state which produced by fluid retention, which leads to pulmonary as well as peripheral congestion. There is decrease in force of contraction and decrease in cardiac output. So our main aim in management of CHF is to increase force of contraction and increase cardiac output. For congestive cardiac failure, we use tablet enalapril 5 mg once daily for 7 days. It is the AC inhibitor. These AC inhibitors are the first drug of choice in management of CHF. Okay, they are not only block the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, but also prevent the breakdown of bradykinin, which promote vasodilation, means they will decrease afterload. They also decrease aldosterone secretion and hence reduce salt and water retention. This will decreases venous return and preload. Okay, so the decrease in preload and afterload will improve cardiac output. That's why AC inhibitors are used in treatment of congestive cardiac failure because they decreases preload and afterload. Okay. Then furosemide. Furosemide, it is a loop diuretic. It will reduce pulmonary edema due to rapid diuresis, which result in decrease in extracellular fluid, decrease in venous return, and subsequently reduce preload. Okay. So the reduction in size of edema and reduction in cardiac size, which leads to an improvement in pump efficiency. So for the treatment of congestive cardiac failure, we give tablet enalapril 5 mg once daily for 7 days, tablet furosemide 40 mg once daily for 7 days and instruct the patient to come after 7 days for checkup. For CHF, give we can use cardiac glycoside like digoxin, digitoxin. Then we can also use beta adrenergic agonists like dopamine, dobutamine. Then diuretics like bumetanide, hydrochlorothiazide, spironolactone, AC inhibitors. Then vasodilators like hydralazine and sodium nitroprusside. So these are the drug which can use in treatment of congestive cardiac failure. Then treatment of angina. Angina, it is a ischemic heart disease occur due to imbalance between oxygen supply and oxygen demand by the myocardium. There are three types of angina: stable angina, unstable angina, and Prinzmetal angina. Our main aim for treatment of angina is to maintain the balance between oxygen supply and oxygen demand to the myocardium. Okay, nitrates are the drug of choice for treatment of angina because they release nitric oxide, which dilate arteries as well as vein. This will reduce preload and afterload. Okay, here glyceryl trinitrate. It is a drug of choice for treatment of acute attack of angina because it will increases oxygen supply to ischemic area and reduce oxygen requirement of myocardium. This will reduce anginal pain. Okay, it is commonly administered sublingually with an initial dose of 0.5 milligram. So it will relieve anginal pain within 2 to 3 minutes. Then patient is advised to spit out the tablet as soon as the pain is relieved. Okay, to avoid adverse effect like hypotension and headache. If pain is not relieved, then tablet can be repeated after 3 to 5 minutes. Here one thing you should remember, that you should not give more than 3 tablets in 15 minutes because it can cause postural hypotension, headache, tachycardia and palpitation. So avoid these symptoms. The tablet should be spit out as soon as the pain is relieved. Okay, so this is the treatment for acute attack of angina. Tablet glyceryl trinitrate 0.5 milligram sublingually. Repeat after 3 to 5 minutes if pain persists, and spit out the tablet when pain subside. Candidiasis. Candidiasis, it is a dental condition. Okay, it is a fungal infection caused by species of Yeast Candida. In this infection, we can see the white patches over the tongue and there is difficulty in swallowing. Okay, this infection can be treated by antifungal drug like fluconazole, nystatin and amphotericin B. Here we use nystatin oral suspension 1 lakh international unit per ml, 1 tablespoon 4 times daily for 5 days, and instruct the patient to keep the suspension in mouth for 2 minutes. Nystatin, it is an antifungal drug. It is too toxic for systemic use and it is used to treat candidal infection of mucosa, skin, GIT and vagina. So this is the treatment for candidiasis. Candidiasis, it is a fungal infection which is treated by antifungal drug like nystatin, amphotericin B and fluconazole. Here we use nystatin oral suspension 1 lakh international unit per ml, 1 tablespoon 4 times daily for 5 days, and instruct the patient to keep the nystatin oral suspension in mouth for 2 minutes and then swallow it. Then treatment for acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. Acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis, it is a type of necrotizing periodontal disease in which necrosis of gingival tissue, and it is a painful infection of gums in which bleeding and foul breath can occur. Okay, for treatment of acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis, we use hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, hydrogen peroxide 3%, which dilute to half strength with warm water and rinse mouth every 2 hours. Okay, this hydrogen peroxide, it has antiseptic action and it has broad spectrum germicidal action against bacteria, viruses and fungi. Okay, then we can use ibuprofen 400 milligram, one tablet 2 times daily for 5 days. Okay, ibuprofen, it is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug which relieves pain and inflammation in gums. Then capsule erythromycin 250 milligram, one capsule 4 times daily for 5 days. Erythromycin, it is a macrolide which active against gram-positive bacteria. So this is the treatment for acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. Hydrogen peroxide 3%, then tablet ibuprofen 400 milligram, and capsule erythromycin. Then treatment of herpetic gingiostomatitis. Herpetic gingiostomatitis, it is a mouth infection caused by herpes simplex virus type 1. Okay, it is caused by herpes simplex virus type 1. This gingival and oral mucus infection treated with obtundant lignocaine. It is a viscous gel 2% which apply twice a day with cotton swab. Okay, this obtundant will reduce gingival pain. Okay, then diphenhydramine elixir 12.5 milligram per 5 ml. Rinse the oral cavity every 2 hoursly. Okay, diphenhydramine, it is an antihistaminic drug which reduce inflammation of gum by blocking histamine release. Okay, diphenhydramine, it is an antihistaminic drug. It block histamine receptors and it inhibits histamine release. So this is the treatment for herpetic gingiostomatitis. Obtundant lignocaine, then diphenhydramine elixir. Thank you.